Spika Justin Muturi anaongoza kikao maalum kinachohusisha wabunge kadhaa na nafikiri wanajadili swala lile lililotokea majuzi ambapo ilidaiwa kwamba wabunge hupokea mlungura wanapoketi katika kamati zao tofauti kuhusiana na masuala tofauti. Hebu tusikize ni yapi yanayojadiliwa akiwa anaongoza kikao hicho Justin Muturi, Spika wa bunge la kitaifa.
Thank you, Honorable Mwadi. Yes, Honorable Barasa, looking at the newspaper cuttings, the stories attributed to you, do you stand by what the contents therein, or would you want to make any clarifications, adjustments, etc., etc.? Is it a true record of what you told the media?
The first on page 11 is very correct. This is what they have quoted me right.
The one on 11th August, eh?
Yes, on 11th August.
It's very correct.
It's very
accurate.
It's very accurate.
Yeah.
The second one is not accurate.
Which is the one, which is the inaccurate? You can put out the inaccuracy.
That, the bribery in Parliament last week was led by one Fatma Gedi. I didn't know who the leader for dishing out money was, but my statement was clear that she tried to bribe me, which I refused. But I didn't say that she was the one leading. I don't know who the leader of that group was.
So to the extent that the report purports to say that she was the leader, that is inaccurate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Honorable Barasa, well, I'm not the one to just ask questions. Let me ask, as you know, the way we do it, let me ask our colleagues who may have questions to shoot them at you.
Honorable Barasa, I want you to tell this committee whether you saw an envelope or whether you saw 10,000 shillings. Because an envelope cannot actually show 10,000. So can you clarify?
Yes, Honorable Barasa.
Yes, you see, when you are being given something, you must ask, is it a love letter? What is the content of the letter? So in the process of asking, what is the content of this letter, of the envelope? She told me 10,000 shillings. I went ahead and asked for whatever purpose. So I think I will have answered your question.
It is also stated that others were receiving 20,000. So what was the perhaps criteria being used for those who are receiving 10,000 and those who are receiving 20,000?
I will restrict myself to answering questions that relates to the attempt by the horrible Fatma Gedi bribing me. The others of 20,000, you can preserve your question and ask those who said others were receiving 20,000 shillings.
Yes, I think when we ask questions, let's be on record because the proceedings are live. Let's Honorable Gladwell.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Didmas, I wanted to know from the sentiments you are making, is that the bribe was made to make the amendment brought by Gladys Wanga to be dropped. I wanted to know, was it specific to the amendment or to the sugar report in totality?
That one I'm not able to tell. The person who came to me, the reason why he was to give me the money was to shoot down the amendments by the Honorable Gladys Wanga. But as to whether that was to be extended to the whole report, that is a story that question that you can ask the suspect herself.
But Honorable Barasa, you mentioned something which is captured. Hii kitu tuangushe. What did you understand hii kitu tuangushe to mean?
The subject matter under discussions at that particular time was the Honorable Gladys Wanga taking the floor to move her amendments.
Honorable, let's get Honorable Mwadi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am interested to know, because if this happened in the plenary, there is a likelihood, Mheshimiwa, that you are not alone. Is it the case that you are put somewhere in a corner private and Fatima tried to induce you with the 10,000, or was it in the plenary? And if that is the case, were there other people around you who probably you would want to share us the names so that we can probably follow up further?
My immediate neighbor who witnessed is the Honorable John Waluke, Member of Parliament, Sirisia. We even protested together. And as to whether it was done in a private place or in a plenary in the public, yes, it was in public, in the plenary. In fact, where we were sitting, there is a CCTV camera just on top of our head, which I think it can be reviewed. And perhaps maybe this explains why I'm not the only member of parliament who is saying money exchanging hands. Very many members of parliament have been quoted saying it. This explains that whatever happened was not something that is in a hidden place.
Mr. Speaker.
But you confirm that it was inside the chamber, Honorable Barasa?
Inside the chamber, under a dome camera.
Very well. No, members, you know there must be. Unless Honorable Mwadi wants to make a follow-up. Yeah.
It's just a small clarification. So when John Waluke saw what was happening, did you discuss with him about that occurrence?
Absolutely. We discussed with him.
Honorable K.
Thank you. Honorable Didmas, you say that the Woman County MP for Wajir approached you with 10,000. Am I right?
Correct.
How did you ascertain that what was in the envelope was 10,000 and not any other amount?
Let me repeat again, that question was asked. When someone gives you an envelope and she's a woman, it's fair that you ask what is the content of the envelope. Is it a love letter? Because if it's a love letter, then she could just tell you verbally what the content of that letter is.
Correct.
So in the process of asking what is the content of the envelope, she told me, in your kumi, tuangushe ikitu.
So you did not ascertain whether it was 10,000, you relied on what she told you?
Absolutely.
Question number 2. You are a member of this committee, isn't it?
Yes.
And when you saw what was happening, the bribery allegations that are being said to have happened, why did you do anything? Did you write to the Speaker? Did you write to the institution of Parliament to complain? Did you have to rush to the media to do that?
Honorable Member, I am a member of Parliament. There is no law that restricts me from communicating to the general public about what I think, about what I feel, what is in my mind, and what I saw. There is no law. It's just good manners, which not everybody has good manners.
So, as you sit there, have you made any complaint about what you saw in Parliament?
What I did, which is procedural, is to press the intervention button to catch the Speaker's eye so that I can rise on a point of order and inform the Speaker of what I saw. But of course, you know very well that when you press the intervention button, not automatically the Speaker will catch the Speaker's eye, depending on how many people have pressed the point of order. So I never got an opportunity to respond to it. And immediately the matter was brought into the attention of the Speaker. The Speaker gave a ruling. So if the Speaker has given a ruling that we will invite the members of Parliament before this committee, I'm not a madman to again write a letter, the same complaint to the committee. It's only fair that I wait for the direction of the committee, and that is exactly what I did.
So you are telling this committee only madmen would do such a letter?
Absolutely. If you are kind of a person who don't follow instructions,
thank you.
The chair has given instructions that those who have these allegations, we will invite them before the committee. I mean, who are you again now to go ahead writing a letter to inviting yourself? You wait for it to be invited. Okay. And that's exactly what I've done today.
Okay. If I may ask again, this report, was it put to vote in Parliament?
Mr. Speaker,
was it?
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member is asking me questions as if I'm a suspect. I'm a whistleblower. Those are questions you ask the suspect.
We are only trying to establish whether what you are saying, the allegations that you made.
I can only establish circumstances surrounding whether the honourable member tried to bribe me or not. But if you ask me something about whether the report was voted or not, I can't answer that question. With respect, honourable member, restrict your questions to the matter that is before me. The matter that is before me is to confirm or deny that indeed a honourable member tried to bribe me with 10,000 shillings. That's the only thing that I can talk about.
Sure. Finally, understanding Order 91. It entails responsibility of ensuring that whatever you allege, you have clear evidence. Other than the approach to you that was made by the honourable member trying to bribe you, did you see the same member trying to bribe other members?
I have not said I saw. The only person I saw Fatuma Geri also try to bribe, and I knew it from the protest, was Honorable John Waluke.
Thank you.
Not any other person.
Yeah, Chair. Mheshimiwa, you know, it is interesting. For the months I've been in that Parliament building, apparently I've never seen a CCTV. And it got attracted to my mind that could it be that the two of you refused to take the bribe because you were aware of the camera?
Not really. I refused to take the bribe because my concerns will not allow me to take the bribe, because the matter before Parliament was a matter that interests my constituents.
Honorable Mwadime.
Yeah, nowadays there are many ways of picking evidence. Alongside the CCTV camera, maybe do you have any other evidence related to this situation?
The question you are asking me is a question that this committee should find out. You should find out whether whatever happened in the chamber that I've said, you go and review the CCTV cameras. And I believe my appearance here, I'm appearing here as a whistleblower to open your eyes and your brains for you to increase your antenna and get to the bottom of this matter as clearly stated in the Speaker's communication. So I think it's whether we have any other evidence, it's this committee to look at. I've told you what I know about what I said about the person who tried to bribe me. I've told you I sat above ourselves. There was a CCTV camera. You can go back and review. You can interrogate other witnesses and see whether the evidence collaborates and make your own judgment as whether those people that have been mentioned to have bribed members of parliament, whether they are guilty or not, and they recommend the appropriate action to be taken against them.
Very well. I think there are a few other questions maybe Honorable Alberia has not asked, but I suspect we may not need a neurosurgeon to open the brains, but nevertheless, we will proceed even in the absence of the neurosurgeon. Honorable Alberia.
Yeah, Honorable Baraza, you have clearly stated that somebody by the name Honorable Fatuma Gedi was trying to induce you with Kenya shillings 10,000 for you to shoot down the motion in the House for that particular day. Will I be wrong if I may say that possibly you are trying to tarnish the image of the honorable member who has also been elected by her people, that you are trying to tarnish her image in the public domain simply because you have some differences with her? Could it be that you may have some differences with her on the grounds that maybe we don't know? Please explain that to us. Thank you. Yeah, the fact that you also mentioned about love letters, since that can actually be able to relate, it can open a small window that you may have been trying to do some advances to her, and that you had seen this the only opportunity you will be able to use to tarnish her image in public. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I am a member of parliament representing Kimilili constituency. Kimilili constituency is in Bungoma County. The Honorable Fatuma Gedi is the county member of parliament representing Wajir County. I have no interest of shifting my political base from Bungoma to run for the position of a county MP of Wajir. So I have nothing against the Honorable Fatuma Gedi. In fact, I saw her for the first time. And even herself, she even never knew me. She saw me, maybe she has seen me anywhere else. That's why she came to me, forgetting that I was a man of interest in the sugar matters. So I have nothing against her whatsoever. And from my community where I come from, Honorable Arbele, we don't hate women because they are unable to accept your advances. That one is not part of the reasons why I'm saying she wanted to bribe me. And I think if that was the case, I think I would have chosen to do something else. And from my community, we don't give up. So I wouldn't have. I would have continued to look for her and go where she is.
Chair.
Yeah, that's is an answer. Honorable Mwadi.
Thank you, Chair. And I'm actually happy, Mheshimiwa, that you're a whistleblower. And we need more of people like you who would tell us exactly what is happening. Because actually, if it happened, then we need to deal with it. But having said that, I'm interested to know, because you are now giving evidence or information to us while you are alone, would you be comfortable if the Honorable Fatuma Gedi was here with you, and also Honorable John Waluke, that you repeat the same exactly what you're saying in their presence under oath?
I am a legislator and I know what it means by giving evidence under oath. I will exactly repeat the same. I will follow whatever procedure this committee will want me to do so that to help you get to the bottom of this matter. And if it means that all of us will come here, I have no problem, so be it.
I think we need to put a close to, I think the Honorable Barasa has given us sufficient material. Let's get the last two. Gladwell.
Again, Mheshimiwa, I heard you from the clip talking about cartels, sugar cartels. I don't know in your knowledge if you know some and you can name some. Then the other question is, assume the report, the House was not marred by the alleged bribery that you are saying, and the report was to be voted, would you have voted for or against the report?
What I will answer your question partly. My introduction of the term cartel was the fact that the money that the honorable member attempted to give me may not have come from the clerk of the National Assembly or the Speaker of the National Assembly. It might have come from the cartels who are interested in scuttling the gain that the sugar report could have brought. As to whether, if that report, whether I will have supported or not supported, I think that question is irrelevant. I will not answer it. It doesn't concern the bribery attempts by the Honorable Fatima Gate.
Omar?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I actually want to put it very clear that according to my assessment, Honorable Didmas Baraza seems to be a well-informed member of parliament. He is knowledgeable. And bribery is a crime. We would have expected at least Honorable Didmas Baraza to have either reported this matter to the Speaker, to the clerk, or to the police, to have at least an OB entry about the matter. And the other thing is, we even know when we are campaigning, when you have people who are bribing, we normally cause a scuffle in such an incident to make sure at least the amount of money that that person is holding is actually taken away, because the idea is to stop the bribery and even to expose the person who is bribing. And I know for sure Honorable Waluke and Honorable Didmas Baraza are very aggressive people from the fact that they come from Western Province. They would have taken over the bag with those envelopes to expose.
Honorable Mwinyi, I rule you out of order. I told you that the standards will be set by this committee. You cannot make an assessment. Honorable Barasa is merely giving us information. The point at which assessment and observations are made is not now. So that is whatever is that must be expunged from the records, because we are not making an assessment at this point. I had expected you to maybe ask a question whether the Honorable Didmas Barasa, in company of Major retired John Waluke, now given what you are trying to say, that there are people who are fairly aggressive, whether they made an attempt to arrest the Honorable Fatima Gendi, but not to make an assessment. But maybe, as a matter of interest, Honorable Barasa, did you feel like you wanted to? Did you feel repulsed sufficiently as to want to arrest her at the time?
Mr. Speaker, you know I'm a Christian and I fear handling women inappropriately, because when you want to arrest a person, you don't arrest a person by handling that person appropriately. It must be inappropriate, Mr. Speaker. So I didn't. Of course, I had the stress of the plight of the sugar farmers from where I was coming from. The report was being fought left, right, and center. So my focus was really on the report and what affects the sugar farmers. And I didn't come to my mind that I should arrest. Even I've never. Of course, I know in the chambers the only people who are allowed to arrest are the sergeant at arms. So that's why I pressed the intervention button to seek you, to bring you, that matter to your attention. But unfortunately, I didn't catch your eye, Mr. Speaker.
Well, just for information, the intervention box on the screen only shows the first 4 people who are intervening. And when they go beyond 4, the Speaker cannot see who is the 5th person. So it depends on how many other members are there. And of course, that day, people did not want just to put the intervention. They were putting both intervention for contribution, which only shows 10 names also. There are very many members who wanted to intervene. But generally, Honorable Barasa, how did you feel about this attempt by the Honorable Fat Magedi and you remember you said to tupe ikitu. What did you feel?
The Speaker, myself, also having the military background, I try to think through my mind and just to find out whom she was protecting. And my conclusion was that either she was protecting the CS who was adverse liberation because he comes from her community. The CS, by then, the CS of trade. That's what came back to my mind because for when you see a honorable member fighting a report and her constituents are not growing cross, then it's only fair that you look at other possible ways. So she could have been acting on to save the CS Rotich Adan, because the report, one part of the amendments of Honorable Gladys Wanga was to move an amendments so that they can put the people who are mentioned, the CSS, responsible. And you know what it means by taking responsibility. It's simply to pack and go home.
So, in a nutshell, you felt repulsed. You are not happy about that attempt.
I was not happy about it. I was very angry because this is one of the matters that came before the floor of the House. And the people had said me, you know, I had attended a number of funeral ceremonies, a number of church functions, and I could see my voters telling me that, Mheshimiwa, we want to send you, and this is exactly what I want to do. Because you remember the committee had given a partial report about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And that interim report was in public domain. The sugarcane farmers were pretty aware of what Parliament was doing, and they felt that their voice can only be heard through me as their elected representative. That's why I went out to communicate to them that I've tried to do what you sent me to do, but I've been unable because of A, B, C, D. Because, Mr. Speaker, I am a representative of the people. I am accountable.
Now, that is more than enough, you know. Giving information now about whether you are a representative of the people. We know that's why you are. The people who are in the House represent people. Article 95(1). The National Assembly represents the people of the constituencies and other special interests. Just look at that wording. So you don't have to. That's why it says, in Parliament, you don't have to say that which is already available in treatises, in the Constitution, in the laws, things like those. So we appreciate and we know that you are a representative of the people, the great people of Kimilili constituency, who are good sugarcane growers. So that's a fact, Honorable Barasa. We appreciate. And I think for now, to the extent of our interest, you have given us sufficient, unless any member now wants to ask anyone more question.
Okay.
Honorable Mwadi.
Thank you, Chair. I am interested, Mheshimiwa Didmas, to know that other than going to the press and whistleblowing, which we are happy about, did you make a report? I think we lost that question. Did you make a report in any other authority that is required to know about such illegal acts?
You know, I am a person who follows instructions very well. The Speaker gave directions when this matter was reported in the media. The directions were very basic and very simple. That the Committee of Powers and Privileges will invite those members to give more information. So that one preempted. I wouldn't have gone again to report to the police when I know that the matter is being properly handled by a competent committee of Parliament.
No. That's not the case, because the Speaker did not give instructions at exactly the same time somebody tried to bribe you. So immediately it happened, you have the duty either to do or not, to go and report to the authorities that somebody tried to bribe. That's what I'm saying. He gave the communication far much later.